Hi, good afternoon. Nice to see such a nice audience. In this talk, I want to talk about virtual reality, and I want to show you that we can take virtual reality beyond the hype or in education. Because when people think about virtual reality, they will instantly think about virtual reality games, such as this one, Beat Saber, which is one of the most popular VR games ever. It's been sold millions of times. Or this one, Star Wars, Tales of the Galaxy, also a very, very popular VR game. And now people all over the world use virtual reality in their marketing, surfing the wave of the hype. From kitchens to even a Russian farmer who claims that his cows produce more milk just by using virtual reality. Interested in to see that study. However, also when you see these kind of numbers, these incredible numbers of how virtual reality can boost reportedly learning, people are completely overwhelmed and are amazed and think, oh my God, this is the next big thing. This is what I really want to use. And of course, there are some good reasons, because actual research shows that there are benefits of VR in education. For example, it's claimed to be more effective than non-immersive learning methods. It's also said to be a superior option over other learning methods. It helps to transfer learning, which is of course the goals of education and training, and it increases efficiency. Now you might ask yourself, why is now the momentum? Why should I engage with virtual reality at this moment? Well, if you look at this curve, you see that the AR and VR glasses are past the threat of disillusionment. They are past the hype, and we now have mature and stable, affordable and wearable, comfortable headsets. So indeed, it is the momentum. It's now time to engage with the virtual reality. Well, now, why is this important? Well, according to a study by World Economic Forum, 1.1 million people will see their jobs radically be transformed by technology in the next decade. And of course, to address this challenge, we will need a reskilling and upskilling revolution. The traditional learning and training methods will not be sufficient to address this challenge. We need to prepare this 1 billion people for the next decade. And of course, it always starts in education. That's where everything starts. That's where change starts. And therefore, the World Economic Forum launched a report, Catalyzing Education 4.0, in which they claim to address this challenge of the upskilling and the reskilling towards a human-centric society, because in the future, technology and humans will interact more and more. But it should always be in a human-centric way in which the societal impact is beneficial. What's especially important or interesting to see is that in this report, extended realities such as augmented and virtual reality are mentioned explicitly to address this challenge. These technologies will help us to address this challenge of the upskilling and the reskilling revolution. And that's why I take this as my personal mission. My personal mission right now is to leverage learning and training by tapping into the potential of extended reality technologies. But of course, only when it's effective, affordable, accessible, enjoyable, affordable and sustainable. It's an ambitious mission, I know, but it's important. My name is Karel Boel. I was a former teacher in technical and vocational education, and since 2015 I've been working as an educational researcher. First in MOOCs, massive open online courses, but since then, since 2016-17, I've been working on virtual reality and education, because I really believe in this technology and I really believe that it can transform and radically transform education. It can bring potential value to your students. I do this from in a variety of jobs or roles. From Lexer, which is we create a platform which allows you to create your own XR learning experience in a very easy and affordable way. I also am into research, as I mentioned, at Thomas More and at Ghent University, because I really believe that when we apply technology in education, it should be research informed. We should know what we're doing with our students, of course. And of course, via various sector funds and organizations, I hope to accelerate and boost this technology in education. Now, research supports my mission, because research claims that the benefits of virtuality make it a superior option over other learning methods. But of course, only when it's used properly, only when it's used in an efficient way, only when we use the unique affordances of virtual reality technology in our learnings. And only then can we get to this digital transformation. Only then can we get to this upskilling and reskilling revolution which we need to address the global challenge. Now, what are these affordances? Why and when does virtuality bring value? For example, you can practice safely fire safety training because there's no danger of harming yourself or others. There's no waste of materials, and it's way easier to set up this learning training scenario. Another example is when you practice your procedural and technical skills, you do not need the expensive equipment. For example, here you have a digital twin, and every student can practice as many times as he or she likes, which is in reality often not possible because there's only one machine for a group of 20 students. You can also work remotely and collaboratively from distant places, all together in the same virtual environment, and work on your communication and collaborative and problem-solving skills. You can also visualize what's normally not visible or which is something not possible. You can, for example, dive into your own body. And Body Swaps is taking this to another level. You can actually swap bodies with your virtual avatar. You can practice your communication skills in an authentic way, in an experiential way. You're set in a virtual environment, but it looks very authentic. And you can practice your communication skills in an authentic way, and you're always supported by feedback, because feedback, in virtuality, we can capture very many data. And these can be useful to provide students feedback, tailored feedback, personalized feedback, always instant feedback, which helps you to accelerate your training experience. You always have a virtual assistant, you always have a virtual teacher, and the teachers in the room shouldn't be afraid of their jobs, but it comes in handy to always have a teacher which helps you in every step of your learning, to provide feedback, to provide support and guidance, and actually via this way you have a very personalized learning pathway. And of course, it's just fun. It adds to the motivation, it adds to your self-directed learning. Students claim that they believe they have learned more, they want to take this learning again. So it's not only a cognitive benefits, but also affective benefits. And that's why these cases make virtuality a superior option. These benefits were also the reason why the Minister of Education in Flanders, Ben Weitz, awarded us 6.5 million euro to implement extended reality, virtual reality, and augmented reality in education. But of course, it was important to mention that virtuality is only a tool. It's a technology, and it's not some kind of magic bullet which solves every problem worldwide, unfortunately. And we know this already 30 years, this year already 30 years, we know that technology itself will not affect or positively enhance learning itself. No, it's the way the teacher uses this technology in their courses. Only then will we get to improvement. And we did a study on this. We carried out a study to investigate, okay, which factors actually help teachers to implement this technology, because it has so many benefits, but we want to know how we can help and support teachers in implementing this virtual reality technology in their courses. And there were four, it's a complex framework. I'm not going to into detail, of course, but four main elements are of importance. First, we need hardware which is affordable, because schools not always have big amounts of money to spend. So we need hardware which is proficient. We also need software, because there's a lot of hardware which is available, but actually content is often lacking. We also need professional development. Teachers need to be professionalized in their digital and pedagogical skills on how to use this technology in a proper way. And finally, of course, research. We need research to know how to best use this technology in your classroom to really have some benefits. And this is the framework which we have designed. It's a holistic framework of all these elements combined in one approach. And only if all these elements are addressed, then we can get to benefits of XR for education. And we described this in a research article and published it in open access, actually to inspire as many instructors and educators worldwide, because we hope that this will guide them. And we should be proud of it, because worldwide this is really pioneering work, because worldwide this is the first nationwide implementation of virtual reality technology in education. This has been never done before. But of course, it's very important to take into account we're working with students, so we need to address public values too. And an interesting framework is the the value compass for digital transformation in education, as developed by KennethNet and SURF. This is a very interesting framework, but because it addresses three main topics which should be taken into account when you use and apply technology in education. It's autonomy, humanity, and justice. Autonomy refers to the self-determination of pupils and students. They should be free to choose whether or not, for example, they use this technology. But it also should be inclusive. We cannot leave anyone behind. There should not be a new digital divide. It also should be integrated with, for example, within a view of sustainability. And also, of course, humanity. When we use this technology, it should be in a safe way. It should be in a proper way, taking ethics into account, taking respect into account. And this brings me actually to my conclusion. Only if we use the affordances of this technology, use them in a responsible way, and apply them in this holistic framework, only then can we take virtual reality technology beyond the hype. I hope I could inspire you about the potential of virtuality in education, and hopefully you will join my mission. Thank you.